At dawn on Sunday, the 13th of August, 1961, East German forces began sealing the streets of Berlin. Within hours, tram lines were cut, paving stones torn up, and barbed wire drawn across neighborhoods connected the night before. The barrier became Europe's most elaborate containment system. The accepted explanation is simple: it was built to stop East Germans leaving through West Berlin. That answer is documented and correct. Millions had already gone west, and the German Democratic Republic intended to close the gap. But it leaves one narrow, black and white question. What else did the wall contain? West Berlin was a western enclave inside East German territory, and the completed border formed a closed ring around it. Inside that ring stood Berlin's famous zoological garden, located in the British sector. And the penguin is not an invention added after the fact. The German Digital Library catalogues a Berlin archive photograph from January 1952. Its description is remarkably concise: contains penguins. That is 9 years before the first wire. The record names no species and describes no escape. But it establishes the bird. A containment theory needs three things: something to contain, a possible route out, and a barrier capable of stopping it. The zoo sits beside the Tiergarten, and the Landwehr Canal reaches the zoo's edge. A determined penguin need not use pavements or platforms. Penguins cannot fly. They can swim with an efficiency that makes their performance on land look like an elaborate cover story. So the obvious escape route is not over Berlin. It is through Berlin. Then the timing becomes awkward. In 1955, East Germany opened Tierpark Berlin as a deliberate rival. Its own history says the state wanted a zoo of equal standing. The new park opened with 130 species and became a prestige project built with public labor and state support. The German Federal Archives places the Tierpark inside the Cold War's cultural arms race. The Stasi secured it and monitored its staff. State bodies donated valuable animals. In divided Berlin, a panda, bear, or penguin was soft power with a feeding schedule. In 1959, the Western Zoo warned a political official that the Tierpark represented, in its words, a danger for us. The zoos competed for animals, money, prestige, and visitors who could still move across the sectors. Then the wall went up. Cross-sector zoo traffic collapsed, and the Western Zoo found itself inside a closed ring. Whatever escaped its first enclosure would remain inside a second one roughly 155 kilometers around. The first barrier was improvised. The mature border added signal fences, cleared strips, obstacles, patrol roads, lights, towers, and capped concrete. A human could climb, drive, tunnel, negotiate, or disguise himself. A penguin could waddle and swim. The engineers accounted for both. Near waterways, the system widened. Official Berlin records describe patrol boats and nail-covered steel mats placed underwater. In other words, the engineers even covered the obvious swimming objection. For a flightless bird using feet and flippers, the final system was almost offensively overqualified. Could the Berlin Wall have contained an escaped zoo penguin? Yes. Very effectively. Was that why it was built? Here, the argument reaches the edge of the archive. There is no reliable pre-wall escape report, no construction order naming a penguin, and no testimony linking a bird to the decision. Presence is established. Opportunity is plausible. Containment capability is overwhelming. Direct motive is absent. A structure can perform a function brilliantly without that function being the reason it was ordered. So the verdict is no. The wall was built to stop human flight from East Germany, not to recover a missing penguin. But the strongest case remains strangely durable: the penguins, the canal, the rival zoos, state security, the timing, and the ring. The archives do not give us the escaped bird. They give us a city that built a second enclosure around the first. The standard history explains the wall. It does not make the penguin irrelevant.